there is a different classification of the neurons, okay? So one is called anaxonic, so it does not have an axon. And you can see the dendrites and the cell body here, and that is found in the brain and special senses. The second one is called bipolar neurons, and it has one dendrite, okay? So it's small, that's connected to the cell body, and then is a short axon. So this is found in the special senses, and when we get to the special senses, I will remind you at that time. Then it's called the unipolar or pseudo-unipolar neurons, that starts with the dendrites, and then this whole thing from here all the way to here is the axon, and axon is connected somewhere in the cell body. So this one is in the sensory neurons. So when we get to the sensory neurons, I will give you the examples at that time. This one is really long. For example, a neuron dendrites can be in your big toe, and the cell body can be near the spinal cord. So that can be that long. And then is the multipolar that have many dendrites, different dendrites are there. The cell body is processing it, and then has a one big axon that branches into smaller teledendria, and you can see that in the central nervous system, and also a connection between a nerve and skeletal muscle. So now is the functional classification of the neuron, okay? So that was the slide before was how it looks under the microscope, and this is a functional classification. So there's three different types of neuron. One is sensory, the other one is motor, and the third one is interneuron. So the first one, the sensory, the function, it can be, depends on the location. It can be in the visceral organ, or it can be in the sensory organs that are consciously you feel it. For example, the somatic sensory will be in the skin, in the joints, and also in the muscle. How does it look like? They are unipolar, so it means that the cell body is located near the spinal cord, and dendrites are somewhere in the skin or in the muscle or in the joint, and then the information is sent to the spinal cord. There's also some of them are in the cranium, in the face area. Those are called the cranial nerves, but the majority of them are in the spinal cord. So there is three types of receptors in the sensory neurons, three types. The first one is called anteroceptors. So these are the ones that are receiving from the organs, for example, respiratory, cardiovascular, urinary, reproductive, and digestive. And there is also some of them are for special senses like taste and a sense of smell, and the other ones are for the general somatic, which is deep pressure and pain. So they are located deeply in the body. Exteroceptors are located in the skin, for example, for light touch and pressure and temperature, or it can be for special senses, for example, sense of vision and sense of hearing. The deeper they are located in interoceptors. The shallower they are in exteroceptors. So touch and light pressure are lighter and more superficial, and the deep pressure and pain, they are located deeper in the body. And the third one is called proprioceptor, and these are the ones that are in the skeletal muscle and joints and the tendons, and they are important for the position of the body and also provide information about the movement of the joints. When the muscles contract, then the joints move, and that information is sent to the brain. Then is the motor neuron. The motor neuron again divides into two. One is the somatic one, and again somatic is conscious, so that is the skeletal muscle And the second one is the subconscious one, which is the autonomic or visceral system. So this is going to the smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, glands, adipose tissue, and lymphatics. They are divided into preganglionic and ganglionic fibers. So preganglionic means that the cell body is located in the central nervous system, and the postganglionic means the cell body is located outside of the central nervous system, and they are synapsed somewhere outside of central nervous system. So when we get to the autonomic nervous system, chapter 16, I will give you more information about that. Just for now, know it is two types of axon. One is preganglionic and the other one is postganglionic. The third type of the neuron is called interneuron. So it means that they are connecting the sensory and motor, and they are located mainly in the brain and the spinal cord, but some of them are also located in the autonomic ganglia, which is usually outside of the central nervous system. For example, they are near the heart, they are the lungs, near the gastrointestinal system. So those are the ones. Also, interneurons are located inside the walls of the gastrointestinal system, and that's a different nervous section that they are called enteric nervous system, enteric. So that is related to the function of the gastrointestinal system. So it's a little bit different. They are processing sensory information and sending motor information. So the motor response, for example, something is touching your skin and that's painful, and you are removing that part of your body. That is the motor response to sensory stimulus. Or you just want to walk or run or bike or something. So that's the motor activity that you want to do. So the interneurons are doing that, but they also are involved in other functions. They are called higher brain function, like memory, learning, planning, judgment, personality, emotions, reward system. All of those things are related to interneuron. So there is a lot of different functions about interneuron.